Welcome to the European Association for Higher Education Advancement's YouTube and podcast channel. Today, we're going to be doing a deep dive into a question that I know a lot of you out there are grappling with.
Yeah, for sure.
Is community college the right move?
Mm-hmm.
It's a big decision.
Big one.
With tons of factors to weigh.
Mm-hmm.
So we're here to help you break it down.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got a great resource to guide us today, an article from the EAHEA itself titled The Pros and Cons of Attending a Community College.
Okay, cool.
And keep in mind, the European Association for Higher Education Advancement, they're involved in accreditation and certification. So they really have a deep understanding of the higher ed landscape.
For sure.
So...
okay, well, let's jump right in.
Yeah, let's do it.
The article doesn't waste any time hitting on a major point, cost.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about saving a few bucks here and there.
Right.
Choosing community college over a 4-year university could mean graduating with thousands less in student loan debt.
That's a lot.
Yeah, imagine having an extra 10 grand in your pocket after graduation.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
that's life-changing.
It's life-changing.
Yeah, huge difference.
Huge.
And that difference in cost really often comes down to how community colleges are funded.
Okay.
They typically receive more public support, which keeps tuition lower.
Makes sense.
And then also, because their focus is often on teaching rather than research, they can sometimes offer more cost-effective programs as well.
Okay, so it's not just about the money, though.
No.
The article also highlights the flexibility that community colleges offer.
Absolutely.
We're talking evening classes, weekend classes, online options.
Yeah.
They really seem to get that not everyone can fit that traditional college mold.
Exactly. That's right. And they're really catering to students who might be working full-time, raising families, juggling other commitments.
Right.
And that kind of flexibility can be the difference between pursuing higher education or putting your dreams on hold.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying, they really do seem to be catering to those non-traditional students.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. So the article's pretty upfront about the fact that there are trade-offs to consider.
Right.
One of those is the balance between smaller class sizes and potentially fewer resources.
Okay.
On the one hand, community colleges often boast those intimate classes where you can actually have a conversation with your professor.
Right. And for many students, that's a huge plus.
Yeah.
That direct interaction, the ability to ask questions and really dive into the material can be a game changer for their learning experience.
Right.
Yeah.
But the flip side is that community colleges might not have the same fancy libraries, state-of-the-art labs, or extensive extracurriculars that you'd find at a larger university.
Yeah, that's true.
So it really begs the question.
Yeah.
What kind of learning environment do you thrive in?
That's the question, right? Are you someone who needs that bustling campus vibe?
Yeah.
Or do you value a smaller, more focused setting?
It's all about figuring out what works best for you.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong answer.
Right.
It comes down to your individual learning style and what you want to get out of your college experience.
So let's say you decide community college is the path for you.
Okay.
What happens after those 2 years?
Right.
The article actually highlights this as a major strength transfer opportunities.
Okay.
A lot of community colleges have agreements with 4-year universities that make it super smooth to transfer your credits and continue your education. They even have these things called 2+2 programs.
Yes.
Where you basically do your first 2 years at community college and then seamlessly transition to a university to finish your bachelor's degree.
And that can be a really strategic move financially.
Yeah.
Think about it. You could potentially save a significant amount of money on those first 2 years of tuition, especially if you already have a specific 4-year school in mind. It's like getting a discount on your education without sacrificing the quality.
Totally. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've talked about cost flexibility, transfer opportunities.
Right.
But the article also addresses the elephant in the room.
Okay.
The prestige factor.
The prestige factor.
Let's be real. There's sometimes a perception that community colleges are somehow less than 4-year universities.
Yeah.
And I know that's a concern for a lot of students who are worried about how it might look on their resume or affect their chances of getting into grad school.
That perception definitely exists, and it's important to acknowledge it, but I think it's also important to challenge it. What does prestige really mean when it comes to education?
Okay, yeah.
Is it just about the name on the diploma, or is it about the knowledge and skills you gain, the connections you make, and the opportunities you create for yourself?
Right.
Yeah. I think we need to dig deeper.
Yeah, for sure.
Into what that word even means.
Yeah.
When we're talking about our education.
Okay. So
yeah,
let's do that.
Let's unpack that a little bit.
Okay. That's such a good point.
Great.
I mean, I've met some incredibly driven and successful people who started their journey at a community college.
Oh, yeah.
It's really about what you make of the experience, right?
Exactly. Community college can be an amazing launch pad. You can get a solid foundation, figure out what you're truly passionate about, and then transfer to a 4-year university with a clear sense of purpose and direction.
Yeah, and the article even mentions a study by the National Center for Education Statistics showing that community college transfer students often outperform students who started at 4-year universities.
That's right. They're coming in with a strong academic foundation, real-world experience, and often a greater sense of motivation. It's a recipe for success.
Yeah. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground cost, flexibility transfer opportunities, the prestige question. One final thing the article touches on is support services. It suggests that community colleges might have fewer options when it comes to things like counseling or career guidance compared to larger universities.
Yeah, that's a valid point and something to definitely keep in mind. But my advice would be to do your research.
Yeah.
Don't just assume every community college is different.
Right.
So check out what your local college offers. If having access to specific support systems is crucial for you, make sure they have what you need.
Great advice. And honestly, even if they don't have a specific service on campus, they might be able to connect you with resources in the community. It's all about asking questions and being proactive.
Absolutely. And I think that's a key takeaway from this whole conversation, being an informed and active participant in your education.
Yeah.
Whether you choose community college or a 4-year university, it's about making a choice that aligns with your individual goals and circumstances.
So basically what we're hearing is that community college offers some amazing advantages.
Yeah.
Affordability, flexibility, strong pathway to a 4-year degree. But there are also factors to consider like resources, the perception of prestige, and the level of support services.
Exactly. It's all about weighing those factors and deciding what matters most to you.
And the article wraps up with this really powerful message that I wanted to highlight.
Sure.
It basically says that choosing community college doesn't mean you're settling for less.
Right.
It's about recognizing the unique value and opportunities that community colleges offer.
I love that there's often this misconception that community college is somehow less than, but that's simply not true. They offer high-quality education, often at a fraction of the cost, and they're preparing students for a wide range of paths, whether that's transferring to a university or entering the workforce directly.
Right. They cater to such a diverse student body with different backgrounds, goals, and life experiences.
Absolutely.
And that flexibility we talked about earlier, that's huge for so many people.
It really is. Community colleges are all about breaking down barriers to education and making it accessible to everyone.
So to sum it all up, both the EAHEA and this article are saying that 4-year universities definitely have their place.
Yeah.
But community college is a fantastic option that deserves serious consideration. It's all about finding the best fit for you.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's about empowering students to make informed decisions about their education and their future.
And speaking of informed decisions, I'm curious, what's resonating with you the most from this deep dive?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
For me, it's the emphasis on finding the right fit. It's so easy to get caught up in the prestige thing or what other people expect, but at the end of the day, it's your journey. You need to choose the path that's going to set you up for success.
Absolutely. And I think this conversation has really highlighted the importance of thinking critically about your options, doing your research, and making a choice that aligns with your values, your goals, and your individual circumstances. It's about taking ownership of your education and making choices that empower you.
Exactly. And to really drive that point home, I want to leave you with a little thought experiment.
Yeah.
Imagine you're advising a friend who's wrestling with this very decision, community college or a 4-year university.
Okay.
What are the key factors you'd tell them to consider? What questions would you encourage them to ask themselves?
I love that it's like taking all this information we've unpacked and applying it to a real-world situation.
Right.
It gets you thinking, okay, what would I actually say to someone who's facing this choice?
Right, because ultimately it's about more than just the pros and cons on paper. It's about understanding what truly matters to that person.
Right.
And helping them navigate a decision that could have a huge impact on their life.
So as you ponder that thought experiment, We want to thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the world of community college. I hope you found it informative and maybe even a little bit inspiring.
We definitely enjoyed having this conversation with you.
And we hope you'll join us again for another deep dive into the world of higher education. Until then, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep asking those tough questions.
Because that's how we grow, and that's how we make the best decisions for ourselves and our futures.
Well said. And with that, we'll sign off. Please don't forget to follow the European Association for Higher Education Advancement on YouTube and social media.